Hello, loves. It's Nina Kovner with Passion Squared. Welcome back to the podcast. It is the fourth day of 2022 and our second day back on the socials after a 33-day break. Whoa, there is so much I want to share with you. Thoughts, breakthroughs, ideas, suggestions, some insights, and that kind of good stuff. So I hope that wherever you are listening to this podcast today, you are feeling how much I missed you. The one thing that will never change, no matter my feelings professionally and personally, around the problematic nature of social media, what will never change is how deeply I value our daily connections. And while during our break, of course, I had that daily connection with our clients at Passion Squared, I missed the daily connection of our larger Passion Squared community. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me that time. I needed it. And maybe you're feeling like you need it too. So I actually shared this already. If you're a member of A School, you've already heard most of this, as we talked about, I believe it was last week in our live audio chat in our Facebook group. If you are not in A School, then this is going to be absolutely new insight for you. So while I was on my break, I did a lot of things. But one of the things that I did was pay close attention to how I was feeling each day. Pay close attention to the time that I was gifted each day. I paid close attention to what I missed and what I didn't miss. And I had a lot of time to simply reflect around a lot of things. Of course, my company, my life, all sorts of things, very common that many of us do towards the end of a year and the beginning, of the next year. But I took a lot of notes as I was having these different feelings and thoughts and breakthroughs and aha moments and all that kind of stuff. So if you don't know, context is critical. So we're going to start with that. If you don't know, Passion Squared began in 2012 on the entire belief, platform, position, and promise around the empowering nature of social and digital media. Now, we have to think back to 2012. Most folks thought Facebook was dumb. Of course, here we are in 2022. Many folks think Facebook is still dumb. Anyways, social media was a fad, blah, 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 blah. So we've been doing this a very long time. And with a background in marketing and brand development and leadership and healthy boundaries and people and psychology and all the types of things that I'm super passionate about. I've always seen kind of the bigger view. And one thing that I want us to really remember is that while the platforms can be highly problematic, we share a responsibility and a role in these platforms. I wrote a blog several years ago called We Are the Media. You may have read it. This was long before the really damaging misinformation and disinformation started, but I already saw it, right? I already saw it coming with like the silly little Facebook hoaxes, which were quite harmless. Of course, that's changed a lot and it's disturbing to say the least. However, we still are the contributors, right? We're the storytellers, we're the publishers. And so we are in control of that, right? We are in control of how we show up and how we share content and how we tell stories and who we engage with and how we engage and why we engage. So context, right? All that context is really important. Here was my overarching feeling as I wrapped up these 33 days. It's literally going back to the fundamentals that birthed Passion Squared. Literally back to the fundamentals of the purpose of social media, of digital media, of business. And that is, I'm going to break it down into 3 things. Authenticity no matter what. Healthy boundaries to quiet the noise and to focus on the folks that you serve, and that's community. If we look at marketing 101 and we look at business 101, we look at storytelling, we look at any of those things. At Passion Squared, we call this brand, purpose, promise, people. The key being people in this context. When we show up on a social platform on behalf of a business, we are there to solve problems. We are there to add value. The value we're adding is the solutions to those problems. And the people that we're serving are the folks that we serve in our business, right? Your people, brand, purpose, promise, people. So who are you serving? Why are you there? You're there to serve them. These folks, the folks that you've identified, are the people your brand serves. And what happens fairly consistently, and this has been going on since day one, this is not a new phenomenon, but what happens is we at times get distracted. We get distracted and we are focusing on everything but building relationships with our people, solving the problems of our people. We start looking at each other and getting distracted by each other and getting diluted and confused and unfocused and fuzzy. And then we slide into comparison. We slide into esteem issues. We slide into all of that. And it's like, wait. Why are we here in the first place? And as I was taking these notes through the last 33 days, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, this is a class that we were teaching in 2012. And thus, back to the fundamentals. Look, we're human. It's not very difficult to get distracted, right? This is how, many of our brains worked, but how they work. But it really, it's going to come back. It's always going to come back to the purpose of being on any given platform, the purpose of engaging in any type of marketing. And no matter the algorithms or the changes of context, the purpose doesn't change, right? The purpose for showing up doesn't change. This is about relationship building, problem solving, and adding value. And you are the relationship fairies, unicorns. You are the problem solving geniuses. You do this for a living. This is what you do. And I truly, truly believe that we must get back to the fundamentals. What fits and feels most authentic to you, not what experts say, not who screams the loudest or creates the most noise or discourse or hysteria or whatever. That all has its place. But we're talking about you and your business, you and your brand, you and your healthy boundaries, you and your authenticity, your vision, your values, your integrity. That's what matters. And if you can focus on that, if you can really get back to why you are on the platform to begin with, then we have more purpose, right? Then we are less easily distracted. Then we are less drained by the noise, right? So things to look at, of course, the platforms. You always want to be where your clients are. And if you don't know, ask them, right? Your people, what do they value? What are their problems, right? And the content that you create is the solutions to your people's problems. And social being always just part of your larger marketing plan. So if you are really struggling with comparison, if it feels yucky, discard, right? You can mute, snooze, unfollow, unlike, unfriend. You can stay out of the newsfeed completely. If you have FOMO around, oh my gosh, like if I'm not on there all the time, I'm going to miss something. I'll tell you right now, you're not going to miss anything, number one. But if you don't believe me, this is the question that I want you to ask yourself. For every moment that you're spending in comparison, in fear of missing out, how could that time be used to help you feel better about yourself, not worse about yourself? How could you turn that time into self-care time as opposed to self-destructive and sabotaging time? We have to really get honest with ourselves. And this is an exercise in self-awareness, right? But for many folks, the scroll is a joy stealer. The scroll is a time stealer. The scroll is an esteem stealer. It's a perspective stealer, a creativity stealer. You only have so much time in any given day. And the big kind of discipline and the big decision that you need to make is, how are you going to use that time? And you can use it any way you choose, right? I've watched the Beatles Get Back documentary 3 times. It's an 8+ hour documentary. 8 times 3 is 24+ hours. I have spent watching the Beatles in their creating art in their studios. Like art that I have cherished my entire life. And I'm so inspired by watching this in real time that I've watched it 3 times. Is that 24 hours a waste of time? You may be listening saying, are you fucking kidding me? But this is my point. It's your time, right? It's your time to do what you choose. But when we get in that numbing and scrolling and joy stealing and all of that stuff, it's like, wait a minute. No, no, I'm not going to do that anymore because that doesn't feel good. It's not aligned. And it's not good for my mental health. And I am going to use this time differently. And this is how I'm going to use it. And of course, that's totally up to you, right? And, you know, we also have tools, loves. We have tools, and I know they're hard. I know I've been doing this a long time. These using these tools to help set healthy boundaries, using these tools for social breaks. As we've been sharing for years, the importance of taking social breaks. You know, time limits on the phone. I know that it's easy to ignore them, but again, if you give yourself, like right now on my phone, I have an hour and a half set for Instagram. And again, this is all business. I don't do any personal stuff on the social. So an hour and a half. So I tested that out yesterday, which was our first day back on social for Passion Squared. And I went over, and I never went in the news feed. I never scrolled. I was never in the feed. I was checking DMs. I was engaging on our brand hashtag Passion Squared. I was sharing stories. I was and creating a reel and responding to comments from our last post on November 30th and then our first post back yesterday. So I'm like, ooh, that's not enough time to do the things that I really want to do to engage with our community. So I changed that time limit to 2 hours last night. The mute stories, you can mute an entire account. You can unfollow on Facebook. You can snooze. You can focus on your branded hashtag, right? Ours is hashtag Passion Squared. You can stay in that hashtag. Just go to your hashtag and engage with the content. Those are your people, right? They're using your hashtag for a reason. And or, depending on your business and brand, you could go into relevant brand hashtags, right? So relevant hashtag to Passion Squared would be salon owner, right? So instead of just scrolling and numbing and all of that, I could go straight into hashtag salon owner and engage with content inside that hashtag. Again, we are curating and crafting our own experiences so we can show up with our most full, authentic, joyful self, creative, joyful, healthy boundary self. Now, the one thing that I completely changed my mind on during this break was our recommendation for taking social breaks. Now, originally, several years ago, we started the Unplugged AF challenge, and that was a social media break challenge. And of course, for all the reasons we've talked about, and you already know why those things, that's important. And my original recommendation, and the recommendation I've had since, is a minimum of 24 hours in a row once a week. That means completely logged off the socials. 24 hours in a row. And I've changed my mind. I think it needs to be longer. I would like to say 48 hours. 48 hours. That's not a lot of time, and it's also a lot of time, right? We need more breaks, and not to the point like I just took this 33-day break. I don't necessarily recommend that. I don't, again, depending on your business. Again, context is critical here. So if that doesn't fit for you, then it doesn't fit for you. And you definitely, I'm not giving any individual advice here because I don't know your individual situation. Generally speaking, though, 33 days off of any social media platform for a business is difficult. It's difficult, again, depending on your business. However, 48 hours each week minimum. That's where we're going to start. And we're going to start it likely on a Saturday, Sunday for us, just based on the needs of our clients. But it could change. It could be a Friday, Saturday. I haven't decided yet. But the thing that is also part of that, which I want to bring into this discussion, is especially for those of you that are news junkies like I am, I reduced my news time by 70% as part of this social break. I was also limited to 30 minutes a day of being on the news app. Now, I don't have TV. I don't watch live news. I don't watch anything on TV, live news or anything like that. So this is all, on my phone. I had set my limit to be an hour of news. And Dr. Nancy, our dear therapist, said, no, 30 minutes. 30 minutes is your max. And I'm like, okay. And I'm grateful that I listen. I don't always listen. Dr. Nancy knows that. I don't always listen, but I do listen more than I don't. The amount of peace and quiet and productivity. And by productivity, I don't mean like, go, do the list. I mean just creative productivity, right? The books, the documentaries, the writing. We created an entirely new brand identity, updated our entire website, completely reinvented our A-School program, completely rewrote our books. We did so many things as a company, and I did so many things as a person. with this extra time and this lack of distraction, right? Now, again, I watched the Get Back documentary 3 times, so it's not like I didn't Netflix and chill. I did. Another thing that I did is I'm off Twitter completely. Twitter used to be where I got my news. Because it was easy to curate many different experts, many different thought leaders, many different topics. The way that I use Twitter to curate news, I deleted the app completely. So loves, this is tough. This is tough because this takes a lot of thoughtful decisions, right? And of course, that's what we do at Passion Squared, is we help you make more aligned, intentional decisions, right? That align with your brand purpose, promise, people, with your vision and values, with your integrity. This is about decisions and really getting back to the fundamentals and really understanding who you're talking to and what they value and how you can create solutions for their problems. Using the tools available to you to set healthy boundaries if you're struggling with that. Setting those time limits. Do not disturb is great. I use it all the time on the phone. Taking more consistent, longer breaks. Maybe less time in the feed, more time thinking, creating. And really, 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 really getting in touch with that feeling that you have when you jump on the socials. And if you're feeling not so awesome, that is a sign, right? That is a sign that you really need to look at your self-care on social. What's most important, and as we shared in our A-School live chat last week, no matter what's most important is your mental health and wellness. And that will always come first at Passion Squared, in A-School, and I hope will always come first for you. What I want you to understand is there are ways for us to still tap into the beautiful part of social media, which are the relationships and the community and the support and the solutions and the creativity. It's beautiful if we make it that way. With that, thank you so much for listening. A-School, our awesome and different kind of group coaching program for salon owners, is open. We're open for new members. We are celebrating our 8th year, and what a joy. It's pretty much my full-time job, and it's the greatest job in the world to serve and guide and coach and support and love our beautiful leaders in our program. If you'd like to learn more, you can visit passionsquared.net. You can find us on Instagram at Passion Squared, on Facebook at Passion Squared. If you found any value in this podcast, I'd be so grateful if you shared your experience wherever you listen to podcasts. If you think that this episode is of value to one of your friends, I'd be so grateful if you shared it with them. Again, I must just say immense gratitude and thanks for allowing me these 33 days to get my feet planted back on the ground and to find my perspective and creativity again. It's such an honor and privilege to serve you. Thank you so much for listening, and have an awesome day. Bye.